Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यसेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. We'll read the first verse here. Manohi dvividam proktam shuddham cha shuddhameva cha ashuddham kama sankalpam shuddham kama vivarjitam. We have double mind. One is pure, another is impure. That is to say, it is not there have two minds, but we have two possibilities of the mind. Because the possibility of it being pure is natural and impurity is artificial. That is why there is a possibility that we can become pure. If it is by nature impure and if we force it to become pure, it's only temporary then. We must understand the impurity of the mind is temporary and purity of mind is permanent. So what is always true, that is for a time being it may appear to be otherwise and it can be rectified. So why it is so? It is said by the Vedantic analysis, Maya Satvika Rupa is Manah. Sattva Amsha of Maya is Antakaranani. Rajasic Amsha is the Pranas and Karmendriyas, and the Tamasic is the physical body and the whole inert world. That being so, Jnanendriyani Tada Antakaranani are considered to be Satvik Amsha, pure aspect of Maya. And that is the reason why Jnanam Sambhavati. That's why knowledge is possible. Activity is possible with Rajas. Lethargy is of Tamas. Thinking is, Viveka Buddhi is possible. Viveka is possible with Antakaranas and Jnanendriyas. So we saw in the last session, Shuddham cha Ashuddham evacha. That is to say that it is appearing to be impure, and there are many methods of bringing back to purity. Gurudev used to say, Ganges is by nature pure, but over a period of time when he is moving and it is coming down from the Himalayas and it is going to the various parts of the land, it gathers certain sediments. And the sediments do not actually pollute their water, because the moment you heat up the water, all the pollutants will be gone. the pure water will be available. Or you filtration, through filtration. So that is to say, there are methods of purifying the mind. So we saw in the last session, Upasana, Dhyanam, Tata, Punya Karma. These are the three methods. Upasanaya dhyanena punya karmana manaha shuddhim kartum shakyate. Upasana is what? Jagata ishati yukta sevanam ashtamurti bruddheva pujanam. Devasya pujanam ashtamurti deva. Ashtamurti means what? It is the Lord himself is in the form of eightfold appearances in this world. That is earth, water, fire, air, space, mana, buddhi, ahankar. These are the eightfold nature of the Bhagavan. So when we are thus looking at the world of objects, it's obviously made of 5 elements. But these 5 elements are known only through the other 3. Mana, buddhi, ahankar. We will come to that a little later. So, upasanaya chittasya shuddhihi. Dhyanam. Dhyanam is where the mind withdraws from these things that can make the mind impure and turn the attention to its real nature. Dhyanam nama swarupasya sahajam banam. How about punya karma? That it is said in Gita itself, Kayena manasa buddhya kevalerindriyerepi yogina karma kuruvanti sangam tyaktva atma shuddhaye. Punya karma is sangatyaga. It is not, punya karma does not mean doing some merely meritorious deeds or any ritual. Many people think that by doing ritual, my mind become pure. It would not unless you give up the sangha. Association with the result, association with the notion that I am the doer. So, sangam tyaktva atma shuddhiye karma karoti. Yaha tasya shuddhihi manaha shuddhi bhavati. Now, what is the nature of sattva, which the mind is naturally is? Again, Shuddha is, or the sattva is that which brings about the ability to understand the knowledge easily. So that is why it is at Gita again, Sarvadvareshu dehesmin prakasha upajayate. Jnanam yata tata vidyad sattvam vivrutam. So vivruddham sattvam ityuta jnanam yata tata vidyad. When knowledge takes place, and also all the sense organs are bright. Bright in the sense, what? The ability to grasp through the senses is easy. It is not preoccupied. It is not polluted. It is not confused. It is not deluded. That is called the increase of sattva. So, the sarvadvareshu dehesmin prakasha upajayate. The brightness comes. So, that is what is considered as the increase of the sattva. Which, in other words, when we are disturbed by anger, lust, or passion, or greed, or jealousy, or delusion, our sense organs also will, to that extent, incapable of gaining knowledge. That is why Bhagavan Krishna again and again points out the values. Amanitvam, adambitvam, ahimsa, kshanti. Why is he putting those things very, very, significantly? Because that will help in gaining knowledge. That's why he says, Etat jnanam iti proktam, ajnanam yatatvanyata. While indicating all the values, he says, this is jnanam. Etat jnanam iti proktam. Why? Because jnana marga is possible only through these values. They are helpers, sahakarika sadhanani. They are helpers in creating the provision or the creating the correct environment for knowledge. So, we see that manohi dvividam proktam shuddham cha ashuddham evacha ashuddham kama sankalpam. So, kama sankalpa word should be understood as kamaha sankalpena. Sankalpena eva kama. Desire is only because of the notion of happiness. No object we desire without having a notion of happiness in that. You are not desiring everything in this world. Why you don't desire everything in this world? Because not all of them can give you happiness. And those which are not giving happiness, they do not cause desire in your mind. So you don't care about whether they are there or not. You go to a shop and you see many things, but you don't buy everything. What can add value to you, what is important to you, what can give happiness to you, that's what you buy. So, sankalpat prabhavati kamam. Desire is born out of samyak kalpana, a fancy idea, a fancy of desire. So, ashuddham, because of which the mind gets disturbed, seeks to possess, own, whether it is a inert thing or a person or a being, or a name, or a position, or a power. All these are all going to occupy the mind. What is Shuddham then? Kama Vivarjitam, which means Sankalpa Vivarjitam. Where there is no notion of happiness, there cannot be any disturbance from that object. So that is going to be pointed out in the next verse, how the desire prompted mind becomes a bondage. So the verse number 2 here. मन एव मनुष्याणाम् कारणं बन्धमोक्षयोः बन्धाय विषयासक्तम् मुक्तं निर्विषयं स्मृतम् मन एव मनुष्याणां कारणं बन्धमोक्षयोः बन्धाय विषयासक्तं मुक्तं निर्विषयं स्मृतम्. Sometimes instead of muktam, it will be moksham. It's more on the same only. Manushyanam bandhamokshayoho karanam manayeva. Mind alone is the cause for both bondage and liberation for the human beings. Nahi Manushyanam, Jantunam nahi. What about other Jantus? What about other beings? First of all, they are not even having the concept of moksha. There is no freedom they seek. Only freedom they seek is the physical freedom. If you tie a dog in a corner and then leave it for a day, then you will know what it is. It will shout and shout and shout and make sure that you get your attention and let me out. So it's only physical freedom. But human beings alone seek freedom of expression, freedom of thoughts, freedom of opinion, freedom of action. If you restrict your own teenager, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, after some time, I don't want to live here. Why? You are not allowing me to do anything. Or you keep on asking to shut up. Don't say, don't say. I'm done with it. I have to say what I want to say. So freedom of expression, freedom of feelings, freedom of opinion, freedom of action. As human beings, we seek freedom from every side. Every aspect of our life should be full of freedom. That's what we seek. So, Manushyanam Karanam Bandhamokshayo Karanam Manahayeva. So this mind itself is the cause of bondage as well as freedom. Okay, how it is so? When does it become bound? Vishayasaktam manaha bandhaya karanam. Vishaya asaktam manaha bandhaya karanam. For the bondage, the karanam, the cause is asakti on Vishaya, attachment to objects. Let us say you are sitting on a chair and there is a glue put on that. You didn't know that. So when you get up, the chair comes with you. Then what will you do? You can't even get up and walk. What is this? So wherever you go, this is stuck behind. You cannot move easily. A chair is okay, which is light. It's a heavy thing, let us say we put. A table. Then I'm stuck. I cannot go anywhere. So if the physical body, when it is burdened with heavy things, you cannot, somebody is carrying a heavy weight on his shoulders, can't do much things, all the time it is oppressing me, pushing me down. So if physical heaviness and burden and bara cannot be borne by you for too long, so is also with the mind. When there is guilt feeling, there is agitation, there is anger, there is frustration, then that mind is heavy. It cannot easily think, freely think. It's caught up in the net of thoughts. Sometimes you cannot even sleep. Too many thoughts are coming. What to do? Because you have been thinking. That is why too many thoughts. It cannot come on its own. So, this desire is that which causes maximum number of agitation and thoughts. So, what is wrong when the mind is full of desires then? It cannot easily function. It cannot think freely. It cannot be free to do something creative. The creativity requires mind to be free. If it is fully occupied, it cannot. So now what is the bondage then? Bandhanam tu aham mama bhava ahankara rupa. What is bondage? Me and mine. And our usual mantra is not Om Namah Shivaya. Me, mine, mine. Aham mama, aham mama. See, aham is I. Mama is mine. Mine is always different from me. Correct? Mine is not me. Why are you saying mine? So this is my chair or my computer, my mobile, my house. When you say my, it is not me. So let us distinguish this first. So anything that you say as mama is nothing but idam. Idam is this. This means not I. So therefore, in Vedanta we say aham idam. These are only two things. I and this. Moment you say this, it is away from you, other than you. Now, interesting thing is, in this, if we allow idam to decide your freedom, it will never happen. Can the idam decide your happiness? Or if idam decides your behavior, your movements, your action, your thinking, your feeling, then you are in bondage. Idam can be another person also. Anything other than you. It can be a cat, it can be a dog, it can be somebody else, it can be weather. So one person was asked this question and he was always happy. Whether it is raining or shining, heat or cold. Somebody asked, how is that you are happy all the time in spite of this inclement weather? He said, that which I cannot control, I will not allow it to control me. Simple. That which I cannot control, I will not allow it to control me. Think about it. Can you control the weather? Whether what it should be? No. I cannot control, right? Yes. So why should it control me? Simple. Can I control the behavior of anybody? No. Why should they control me then? Why should I allow that to control me? Can I control my body? To some extent, yes. And how much, how healthy it should be, how long it should, I don't know. So should it control me? No. Then, so when I do not allow myself to be controlled by the idam, I am free. So, when aham is not controlled by idam, you are free. When aham starts controlling idam starts controlling aham, then you are in bondage. Vishayasaktam manaha bandhaya karanam. So I wrote a small verse here to indicate this. Sukhabuddhir vishayeshu asakte moola karanam. Sukhabuddhihi vishayeshu asaktehe moola karanam. Yasminna pashyati sukham tadbadnadi naha karhichit. Sukhabuddhir vishayeshu asakte moola karanam. Yasminna pashyati sukham tadbadnadi na karhichit. Vishayeshu sukhabuddhihi asakte moola karanam. What is the karanam or the cause of this attachment? Sukhabuddhihi vishayeshu. The notion of happiness in objects is what makes us get attached to things. Sukhabuddhi. This will add to my happiness. This will give me happiness. This will keep me happy all the time. ऐसा मानना वही है आसक्ति का मूल कारण. Yasmin pashyati sukham, in which you don't find the joy, tad nabadnadi karhichit. That will never bind you. Anything that in which you don't have the notion of happiness, it will not bind you. So by bondage is by the objects or by your notion. Then we always say the world is a bondage. Right? How the world can be a bondage? Your notion of happiness on that is a bondage. So where is the problem? Problem is in the way I approach things. Gurudev always said, fire is necessary to cook, but don't put the hand on it. Fire. Every day you make the food possible for me. I will embrace you. That will be the last day. That's why in the book Kindle Life, he writes Art of Right Contact. That is the second chapter. First one is freedom and licentiousness. Second is art of right contact. You must have the right approach to things. Not rejecting, but not embracing either. So yes, people are necessary. Everything is that. It's all there around us. Yes, they are necessary for us to live. But to hold them as responsible for your happiness is going to cause a great tragedy to you. Until it happens, you will never know. Otherwise, human beings never learn until it happens to them. When I burnt my finger only, I will realize, though, I should not go to the fire. Which is also one of the many things, right? Not all of them will burn immediately. Relationship will burn you over a period of time. You will never know. The person or the thing which you most attach to is the cause for bondage. I am sorry to say that. But that is the point here. So, sukha buddhir vishayeshu asaktehi molaka. Now, what about dukkha buddhi? See, one is object of happiness, another is object of dukkha. What about that? Dukkha buddhirtata jnaya. Understand, dukkha buddhi is also equal to that. Dvesha rupena bandhati. The mind, it gets impaired not only by the desire for objects, dislike for the objects also equally will bind you. Because that will keep your mind off. Like Ravana was bound by both Sita and Rama. In what way? Sita he liked, there is a bondage. Rama he didn't like, that is also bondage. He is tortured between these two. I want her, but I hate him. He killed my brothers. My entire clan has been destroyed by him. How dare he? Even, in fact, Devesha is the karanam for him to kidnap the Sita also. One reason to kidnap Sita is she is beautiful. Another reason is, I want to punish him. That's why when Vibhishan told him to don't keep her, it will be danger for you. I want to give punishment to Rama. But wage a war against him. But I like her also. See, if you are to really punish Rama for what he did, you go and fight with him, and meet him in the challenge, fight him out. That is, why are you keeping her here? That you cannot now. How will you then? You cannot do anything about it. Dukkha buddhirtata jnaya dvesha rupena bandhati. So, dvebit sada nirakartum prayatnam sadhanam matam. Dve api. Both of them also nirakartum sada prayatnam sadhanam matam. What is sadhana therefore, in my opinion? Both should be taken care. Dvesh bhi or raga bhi. Raga, dvesh. So, asakti is not only because of the desire. Dvesha also can bind you. That also can be a bondage. So, muktam nirvishayam smritam. Vishaya can be both object of desire, object of hatred. Nirvishayam, Vishaya Rahitam is the state of mukti, liberation. Swamiji, what are you saying? How can we remain ever without objects in our mind? Object in the mind means not thinking about it. Gurudev said objectless awareness. Just turn your attention to what your mind was 6 hours back. Tell me. Nidra avasthayam ko manah ko jiva. Where is the mind? Where is the jiva? Kim jagat? Where is this world? None of this was there. Swami, you mean to say that we have to go to sleep then? No, sleep like. How can you sleep? Even if you want to sleep beyond certain point, you cannot sleep. You will get up only. So I'll go to coma. So that is not what we are talking about. The condition like that of the sleep where your mind is no more occupied with any of the objects. But that is not the way to go about. Is that what the Upanishad is talking about? No. Nirvishayam manah. What is that nirvishayam manah? So that is taken up in the next verse. We see that. Verse number 3. Yado nirvishayasyasya manaso muktirishyate ato nirvishayam nityam manakaryam mumukshuna yado nirvishayasyasya manaso muktirishyate ato nirvishayam nityam manakaryam mumukshuna. Yataha, when or since, yasmat asya nirvishayasya, of the one which is free from the objects, manasaha, the mind, muktihi ishyate, muktim gacchati, muktim prapnoti, ishyati, goes to, ishyati gacchati, ishyate, muktihi is obtained. So, the mind without or mind free of objects is said to be freedom. All right. Ataha, therefore, thus, nirvishayam manam, manaha nirvishayam nityam karyam. Always keep the mind free of the objects, and that should be practiced. Karyam. Abhyasitavyam. Abhyas karna chahiye. Mumukshuna. So, mumukshuna yasya mokshasya ichcha. Tena. By the one who is seeking to be free. Now, the immediate question is, then Bhagavan kiske liye kiya hai? The whole world is created by the Lord for us to enjoy. This is argument of most of the Charvakas, right? Sweet talkers. What do they say? ये दुनिया भगवान ने निर्माण किया किसके लिए? Why did he create this entire world for us to turn away and then close our eyes, not to see, not to hear, not to taste, not to smell, not to touch? Is that so? Now tell me, is the object is desiring you or you are desiring the object? When you go to a shop, is the object's coming? Come on, take me. Is the object desiring you or you are desiring the object? Let us say there is a beautiful lady standing there, and there is a dog, there is a donkey, and a monkey. Do you think any one of them will desire her? Whereas there is a beggar, dirty and clean. He puts bread for each one of them. Now tell me, whom will they like? Such a beautiful lady. I don't like that food. That will go behind him. All of them. Because then, if you look at a thing or a person what is causing the desire to that person? What do you want? As the child, let's say a 2-year-old child, will not be attracted by that girl or the lady. So at that point, that child does not need that desire is not there, that seeking is not there at the child. When he becomes a teenager or 20-year-old, then when becomes 70, hopefully 75-year-old won't like that same condition. So any object by itself is not a desirable thing. What is your need? What is what you are seeking? Even as animals also, they seek food. Whoever gives food, they'll go behind them. Or who treats them properly. So the object is not the cause of the bondage. You see that? That's what I'm trying to say. It is not the object is making you desire. In the advertisements also, when they just show the coffee, you will not, when somebody drinks, So you know, okay, this is going to make me happy. Just put the coffee it won't. Somebody drinking. Immediately, oh, what touch. So that idea should come. It will fulfill my purpose. So therefore, nirvishayaha need to be understood properly. What do you mean by nirvishayaha? So now you see, indriyarteshu bhogeshu mano hi bhokta natvanyah. Indriyarteshu bhogeshu manah eva bhokta natu anyah. In all the desirable objects, who is the bhokta? Now, if we see a beautiful flower, it is the eyes that are enjoying it or the mind. If the mind is occupied with some other thought, can I enjoy that flower? No. If a mind is agitated or sad about somebody whom I lost in my life recently, if I'm thinking about that flower, can it make me happy? At that moment, it won't. Why? It is not the eyes, it is not the flower, it is the mind. The same flower you give me and a happy time will add to my happiness. But in a sad situation, the flower is just a flower. It is neither the source of happiness nor the eyes can enjoy that. Why? It is a mind that is really bhokta, desirer of everything. Whether it's a food eaten by the mouth or the smell that is grasped by the nose or the beautiful things that you see by the eyes, none of them are enjoyed by any of the senses. It's only the mana. Mana eva bhokta. So, sindriyarteshu bhogeshu manohi bhoktana tvanyaya natu anyaya. Ado krutva manas sakshim darpane pratibimbavat. I was thinking about it, how it can be turned to be itself. What do you mean by nirvishayam? Where the mind is, see, it is said, mind falls on the object in Kena Upanishad. Adakena prayuktoyam papam, no. Keneshitam padati preshitam manah. Vishayam prati manah padati. Towards the objects, the mind is falling. Means what? Mind as though being pulled by the object. What is falling? Let us say that I'm standing on a cliff and I let myself loose, then the earth is pulling me towards itself. Similarly, it appears like the objects are pulling the mind. So, when the mind is to be turned away, what does it mean? So, they say, ado krutva manas sakshim darpane pratibimbavat. See, when you're standing in front of a mirror, even though you're seeing the mirror, but actually you are seeing yourself. Right? Are you seeing the mirror or yourself in front of the mirror? Tell me. Whom are you seeing? Or what are you seeing? Eyes are seeing the mirror, mind is seeing you. Correct? Batao? Remove the mask and tell me. So, what is Sakshi? Here, Sakshi is to be understood as not seeing the objects, seeing yourself, seeing the objects. Think. Like in the mirror, you are seeing the mirror, all right, the surface of the mirror, but you are seeing whom? Darpane pratibimbavat. Sakshi is where you see the objects with the eyes, but your attention is on you, not on the object. This is called open-eyed meditation. Hmm. When your attention moves from the object to the idam to aham, that is called nirvishaya. Hmm. Nirvishaya means what? Where the object is not absent. Eyes are not closed. Eyes are closed? No. Object is absent? No. Eyes are seeing? Yes. Where is the mind? Where is the mind? Is it in the object or with you? That's the question. If the mind is with you, then object doesn't matter. With you does not mean you are occupied with something else. Huh? Oh, no, I don't know what. Tomorrow I have to go. Swamiji, hopefully you will finish at 9:30. That is not what I am talking about. Here, the mind is not going anywhere else. It is with you. So that is why it is Ado Krutva Manas Sakshim Darpane Pratibimbavat. Tasmat Vilakshanam Nyatva Swayam Nirvishayam Bhavet. Tasmat Vilakshanam. What you are seeing, it is different from it. Tasmat Vilakshanam. Bimbat Vilakshanam. Pratibimbat Vilakshanam Aham. See, when you are standing in front of the mirror, even though you are looking at the reflection, but that is not you. Right? So, if there is a dirt, you make here and you don't. I think the mirror has a problem. First thing you will do is here, not the mirror. Correct or not? If it's a scar then, or some dirt, first thing you will do is, and if it is in nothing, then you will go there. So, Tasmat Vilakshana. I am different from the Bimba, and that is temporary. This is permanent. That is not going to be there all the time. If I move away or the mirror is moved out, I will not be able to see. So, what is temporary and what is permanent? That which I see is temporary, and the one who is seeing is permanent. Even if I don't see, even if it is not there, I am. There is no doubt about this. विषय नहीं है मैं तो नहीं हूं ऐसा नहीं है idam when it is absent, aham is not absent. Bimba is absent, the object is not absent. The person is not absent. Tasmat vilakshanam nyatva swayam nirvishayam. Understanding that I am different from that. Understanding that I am different from and I remain permanent even in the absence of what I perceive. That is what happens in the state of samadhi, as also it happens in the state of sleep. In the sleep, you withdraw from the world and the world is no more. World is no more. You are not no more. You are still there. It is like the mirror is removed. Objects are not seen. Just giving an example, mirror is removed, therefore bimba is not taking place, does not mean you are absent. In the same way, when the mind mirror is absent, and in which all the objects are reflected, when the absence of the mind where the reflection of objects are not taking place, you are there. Even to know that there is no mind. That's why nirvashaye vritti shunyaha amani bhavati sadhaka. Nirvishaye vritti shunyaha. When the objects are not there, there are no more thoughts about those objects. Amani bhavati sadhakaha. That state of mind, state of being is called amani bhava according to Mandukya. The state of no mind. Now, some people keep the name, Aman. It's a typical Indian name also, the Aman. So in Christianity, they at the end is Amen. Amana means no mind. मन नहीं है. Amani Baba. Amani Baba means where the mind is no more. Mind is no more, we experienced every day in sleep. And we are not unhappy about it. Are you unhappy that you slept? You are unhappy that the mind was not there? In fact, we strive so hard to get rid of this mind every day. Every day we get rid of this ego, and that state of no ego, no mind is the state of most, joyful. And again we pick it up. Again we leave it. Again pick it up. Again leave it. That which you leave is not you. So if you are able to leave your mind, leave your ego every day, you understand that is not you. So Amani Bhava, which is what is considered, Ado Nirvishayam Nityam Karyam. That's what he said second line. Ado Nirvishayam Nityam Karyam Manakaryam Mumukshuna. Mumukshuna Nityam Manaha Anirvishayam Karyam. Kartavyam, to be done. Swami ji, itna padhte hain. How many things we are reading and studying. Simple as this. It is so simple. Get rid of the mind. Yes, for which only we are studying. See, the study is all this Shastra and all these are all to convince us, to show to us that this is what you need to do. But we are not that easily able to get convinced because we are overly, brainwashed that you need this, you need this, you need this, you need this, you need this to be happy. And Shastra says, nahi chahiye. We are not ready to immediately accept that. We want a proof, we want reasoning, we want logic, we want to argue. So this Upanishad is straightforward. Nirvishayam karo. Bas, ho gaya aapka kaam. Ado nirvishayam. Nirvishaye vrittishunya amani bhavati sadhakaha. Such a person becomes without the mind. Vishayas are absent, mind is also absent. Mind is present, Vishayas also. Simultaneously they rise up, simultaneously they go. A is there, B is also there. B is there, A is also there. Whenever A is there, B is there. Whenever B is there, A is there. So what does it mean? A equal to B. That's what you conclude. And slowly is coming to that point. If a mind is there, Vishayas are there. Vishayas are not there, mind is not there. So mind equal to Vishaya. The mind as we experience now is none other than continuously ever caught up in the web of objects. To overcome this preoccupation with the objects, we take alternative routes also. Puja jabasta smaranat bhagavat bhajanena cha chitta shuddhir bhave tasmat devi karyam mumukshuna. Whether you take up the worship of God, upasana, puja, japaha, repetition of the name of the Lord, smaranam, remembrance of the Lord, bhajanam, glorifying the Lord, these are all chitta shuddhir bhavet tasmat. By that, we can obtain the purity of. What is the purity of mind? It's the purity of mind is the previous stage to nirvishaya. Removal of objects is one thing, but purifying the mind is prior step. How it is prior step? Keeping the mind in one is important before you withdraw it. So when you are doing puja, you are keeping the Lord in front of me and in front of you, and then you are not thinking about anything else. That means from all other objects you removed your attention except the one. Similarly, in japa, when you are chanting the name of the Lord, you are removing all other thoughts except the one. Smaranam, again remembering the Lord, not necessarily by chanting or doing a puja. In your own mind, when you remember the Lord, you are removing all other thoughts about the object except that one. Bhajana. When you are doing the bhajan of the Lord also, you're singing the glory of the Lord, keeping Him only, and everything else you remove. So, the Ramana Maharshi said, it is one thought against many thoughts. That helps you to not get occupied with other things. Chitta Shuddhi bhavati tasmat. Bhavet tasmat. Te api karyam mumukshana. So that also need to be done. If one is not able to easily shift the attention from the object to the subject in spite of seeing the object, there must be a preparation that required to keep the mind occupied with one exclusively before doing this. Because the moment you see things, the mind goes there. To train the mind not to go to many things and say only one, the undistracted attention upon one thing is prior requirement or prerequisite. Is a prerequisite for the mind to become nirvishaya. As Gurudev would say, when you are ready to sleep, I want 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 to sleep. Is it not that is the mantra japa going on? I want to eat ice cream, sleep. It's not possible. Sometimes when you sleep, when you're ready to sleep, I didn't have ice cream for a long time. You will get up. One scoop, that's all. So because the desire for this ice cream comes, then the desire for sleep will take a back seat immediately. So once you had that one, now for the day, now I let me sleep. Then you put the alarm. Again, another thought. Put the alarm. And you switch off the computer. See, when you have other thoughts coming, then you can't sleep. Until a point, I'm done. Let the world go to wherever. This Ukraine is being occupied by Russia. How does it matter to me now? If Russia is occupying Ukraine, your mind is occupied with that. Akraman, invasion. Until that thought, every thought is removed. Sleep, sleep, sleep. That is what is the effective, what you call result of puja, japa, smaranam, bhajanam. The mind gets trained to think on one, and then withdraws from that. So the mind becomes so free of objects only when it is prepared this way. Puja japascha smarana bhagavad bhajanena cha chitta shuddhir bhavet tasmat. Tepi karyam mumukshana. This is the third dose. Isn't it? Third drop. Immortality, one by one, one by one. So first one, what he said, mind is of two kinds, pure and impure. And secondly, impure mind is bondage. Impure mind is subject to freedom. And what is impure mind? Vishayasakti, attachment to objects. And when the attachment to objects is not there, such a mind is free. All right. So, therefore, since nirvishayasya manasaha, muktihi ishyate. Since that absence of object is what is called the freedom for the mind, freedom of the mind, ato nirvishayam nityam manakaryam. Now, the next step is, what is the connection between manaha and atma? Are there two things here? One is called consciousness or the self, and the one which is called mind. Because we are occupied with the mind now, and we have rejected, ignored unceremoniously the consciousness, the self, it looks like we have rejected one and occupied with something else. We have given up one thing and then we are busy with something else. This is what usually people think. Bhagavan ko smaran karo, etc. When they say, oh, so that means we have rejected Bhagavan and we are thinking about something else. So, what does it mean? There are two things. One is called Bhagavan or the self, and something else called the mind. And when the mind is there, then there's a world. That's what even in the Saddarshanam, Jiva, Jagat, Ishwara. We have been looking at that point. So, how these three? Are they three? According to Ramana Maharshi? Are they three? Jiva, Jagat, and Ishwar? Are they three? When are the three are absent, present? When are they present? Verse number 4, Saddarshanam. Aham matirihi. Aham matirihi. If aham is there, the three will be there. Three of them called Jagat, Ishwaraha, and Jiva. So, if we say self is there, consciousness is there, and there is something called the mind, and when the mind is there, there is a world. Are there three of them here? So, that will be questioned now. What is that which is called the mind, which is independent as though appearing to be like that of air? I mean, here Vedanta would clearly say the existence of the mind is similar to the existence of the snake on the rope. When you don't see the rope, you will see the snake. When you see the rope, you will not see the snake. You cannot at the same time see rope, the snake. Not possible. Can you say half of that is rope, half of that is snake? So, Swami, why don't we have both? What? Both. Half of it is snake, half of it is rope. If you are seeing the snake, you will definitely not see the rope. If you are seeing the rope, and you will laugh at yourself that you have been seeing snake all the time. So the mind needs to be understood carefully. So therefore, this particular verse, next verse, will talk about understanding the mind and what is the relationship between manaha and atma. And in this context, we should understand the beautiful portion of Mandukya Karika very clearly explains about the nature of the mind. So we'll see that part of it in the next session. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkhavat Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.